how are you sort of coping up with addressing these challenges in terms of curricular development?
Well, my colleague Professor Abeysekera, the national specialist, and myself together, we looked at what is going on. I mean, Professor Abeysekera Dayanta has a vast experience, having been Vice Chancellor at Open University, Vice Chancellor at Moratuwa, and he's a civil engineer. And so it was a great team we had, and we looked at the whole industry. He has a vast knowledge of the overall industry, the regulatory framework. And we said, well, what do we need? And what we put up some options. We talked to companies a lot because you cannot design any course these days that has any sense unless you're talking to the employers. So we talked to the companies, and we had a stakeholder consultation kind of meeting, and we said, all right, here are some ways we can go forward. And what we decided was that what's required is a 1-year advanced diploma in construction management, which could be done by young people who already have the equivalent of a higher national diploma in civil engineering. And that's offered by the Institute of Technology at Moratuwa, within the Moratuwa University, but it's a technical qualification, and it's offered at the Katunayake Institute, and so on. It's offered at Open University. And it's also offered at SLIET. So all these graduates could go into this new program that SLIET we have proposed should have, which is an advanced diploma, a 1-year diploma in construction management. And the things we talked about, safety, quality, these are all core compulsory areas of learning in this new course we propose.
So that means, like, about safety, the engineers are taught about these measures.
Correct.
So how, like, if you take environment now in construction, implications of environment is a crucial area, I guess.
Absolutely.
So have you also tried to embed these aspects into the course curriculum?
That's a really interesting question, Deepamala, because when I looked at the curricula that we have developed in Sri Lanka, the word environment I just couldn't see it there. And yet in the country that I have adopted, Australia, it's a compulsory competency teaching unit in a diploma in construction management, understanding the environmental impact of a construction site. Because every time you do a civil engineering works, you slightly change the surface of our planet, and you also slightly change the heat balance of our planet. And this heat balance is really crucial in this new era of concern about climate change. So it is therefore important to understand this, and the way we do it in many countries is to, and Sri Lanka now, is to do an environmental impact assessment. And there is legislation that requires that every time you do anything that affects the surface of the planet, you must do an environmental impact assessment.
Legislation in Sri Lanka
yes,
as well?
I think so. I think there is such a process here. So it concerns not only civil works, it concerns any other major thing you do, whether you are transforming a forest or diverting a river or anything, or digging a mine or anything, would require an environmental impact assessment.
I just wanted to ask you that, especially because we also have this idea that if we are the developing countries, as long as we achieve a certain economic development standard, it is okay to go about constructions and not pay so much of attention to environment. But if you look at it in another way, the developing countries are prone to so much of environmental hazards by water and all that. So I guess it's an extremely important concern that has to also be embedded in the curriculums, isn't it?
I think so. But from the little I know about Sri Lankan public life and Sri Lankan attitudes here, my sense is that there is an incredible consciousness among at least among the professional classes and the other reasonably educated classes throughout Sri Lanka. There is a tremendous pride and concern to protect the environment. So I think there's a natural mechanism among the people of Sri Lanka to protect the environment here. That's my assessment.
Okay, Satis, so we will take a small break and we will be back with you soon.
special program is going to be a platform for health, diseases and things which are related to day-to-day life.
On the gate, it's just gone. A boom, boom, da, 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 da. Give me one reason to stay here.
Hey, hey, stupid Cupid, stop hating on me.
Ain't no singing green sounds like tequila. Don't really know it's settled.
Prime TV together with Liberty Plaza present Aurudu Sangraya 2010, an Indo-New Year experience for the first time in Colombo from the 1st to the 14th of April at Liberty Plaza. Media sponsors Prime TV and Prime Radio.
This special program is going to be a platform for health, diseases and things which are related to day-to-day life.
Catch you live in action on Prime TV with a blend of music filled with variety. Rock and roll, country and western,
It must be love. It must be love.
you name it, we have it. Music with Bevel.
Music for the soul, music for your heart, music for your mind.
So call us up on 277-5283 and let me be your genie. So don't like the fact that other people make you watch what they want you to watch. Well, here's a show that lets you decide. Music Run With
Every weekday from 6 to 7:30.
Smart Recharge Bonanza from Mobitel. Dial #151# to enter.
Welcome back. You're watching Round Table, and we're speaking to Mr. Satis Arnold. He's a construction management specialist. He's from Australia. He's visiting Sri Lanka on a special mission. He's working also for the SLIATE, the Sri Lanka Institute of Advanced Technology, on a special project where they're also developing curriculums on the construction management. And we focus on the construction industry, which is a very crucial industry at a point Sri Lanka is going into the development phase. We discussed the specific challenges and issues faced by the construction industry, and actually how the curriculum should be developed in such a way to address these challenges. Then on that note, we discussed a lot of other options that has been taken. And on the same note, Satis, I also wanted to ask you, because we just touched on environment and the curricular development, then safety and the curricular development, wanted to ask you about how to drive in the fact that maximum and optimization of the resources, limited resources, how those aspects should come into the picture.
Yes, I think managing resources efficiently is a key part of the work of a good construction manager. So if you look at the resources that a construction site manager has to work with, it would be his people for a start. That's a key resource, is the human resource itself. And effectively using those teams. So teamwork, leadership are key issues of being a good construction